Check mic one. 1, 2, 3.
They want to shut down your steel mills, and that will happen.
And former President Obama in Atlanta.
America's at a crossroads. The health care of millions of people are on the ballot. Making sure working families get a fair shake is on the ballot. But maybe most of all, the character of our country is on the ballot.
You're listening to USA Radio News.
There's no question you need omega-3s. But which form should you take? Fish oil or krill oil? Scientists have debated this for years. Luckily, there's a new solution to satisfy everyone. It's called Krill Omega 50 Plus. It combines ultra-pure fish oil and joint-soothing krill oil together in just one tiny pill. It's so powerful, it can promote the health of your heart and your arteries. And if that wasn't enough, it can also boost your joint comfort in just days. We're so sure Krill Omega 50 Plus will work for you. We'll even send you a free bottle to put to the test. The debate is over. It's not fish oil or krill oil, it's both. And now it's free. Just pay $4.95 for shipping and claim your free bottle. Call now. 1-800-399-6392. 1-800-399-6392. That's 1-800-399-6392.
The Supreme Court says it won't block a lawsuit over climate change. The Trump administration requested the suit be stopped, saying that it was misguided. But the High Court ruled the administration didn't reach the high bar necessary to halt it. The justices suggested the White House consider a federal appeals court if necessary for its request. At issue is a lawsuit brought by youths accusing the U.S. government of failing to properly address climate change. Alec Baldwin has been charged with assault and harassment after allegedly hitting a man in an argument over a parking space. Police say Baldwin claimed he had a family member holding the parking space for him at the curb near his Greenwich Village home when another driver pulled up and parked in it. Heated words were exchanged, and then Baldwin allegedly punched the guy in the mouth. The actor was then taken into custody, and the driver went to the hospital. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Look, I know this isn't the first MyPillow spot you've heard, and if you don't have yours yet, what are you waiting for? MyPillow stays cool, keeps its shape all night long. You can toss it in your washer and dryer, and it's like new again. Made in the USA, comes with a 10-year warranty and a great money-back guarantee. If you don't love your MyPillow, you have till March 1st to return it. How about that? Go to MyPillow.com, click on the buy one, get one free special. Use my code USA and get one free pillow when you buy one at regular price, plus shipping. That's MyPillow.com, click on the buy one, get one free special. Enter promo code USA. That's promo code USA.
Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley refers a woman who accused Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh of raping her to the Justice Department. Here's more from USA's Rick Vincent.
According to Fox News, committee investigators have discovered that the woman, Judy Monroe-Layton, is a left-wing activist, decades older than Judge Kavanaugh, and lives in neither the Washington, D.C. area nor California, but in Kentucky. Grassley's office says under questioning, Ms. Monroe-Layton admitted she was not sexually assaulted and was not the author of the original Jane Doe letter provided to Democratic Senator Kamala Harris, a member of the Judiciary Committee. Grassley has also referred Julie Swetnick, Michael Avenatti, and an unnamed man for criminal prosecution after making false claims to congressional investigators.
For USA Radio News, I'm Rick Vincent.
Some New York lawmakers want to require something be added to the background checks done on gun buyers in that state. And USA's Chris Barnes has details.
The proposed legislation would require checks for hate speech or violent threats in someone's online activity before they could purchase a gun. It would authorize police to go over 3 years of a person's social media postings and 1 year of Internet searches as part of a gun background check. Proponents point to the recent deadly synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh carried out by a man who is a self-avowed anti-Semite. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-521-9579 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-521-9579 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-521-9579. That's 1-800-521-9579. Again, 1-800-521-9579.
Welcome to the Garden America Show, the country's most listened to gardening program. This is your chance to join us as we talk about gardening, horticulture, landscaping, in fact, anything world of gardening. The phone lines are open right now at 1-855-424-9825. That's 1-855-424-9825 for your questions and comments. John at GardenAmerica.com. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, you can also post your questions and comments right there on our page during the broadcast. Now, here's Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox on the Garden America Radio and Media Network.
Indeed, she is correct. We are all here. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend to you. I'm Bryan Main, Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco, the entire crew, the A-Team, 6 minutes after the hour. Broadcasting live on AM 1240 here in San Diego, and that replay on AM 740 starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon, covering Los Angeles and most of Southern California. And, of course, Facebook Live, that's where we, I think that's where we shine. Hopefully that's where we shine. We get your questions and your comments answered as quickly as possible. You can also email us, John at GardenAmerica.com, or the old-fashioned way. It is toll-free by telephone at 855-424.
Fashion way. Have you seen that show? Well, it's his family, and it's more or less the story of this family, all the way from the grandparents to the current grandchildren, kind of a thing. But it's funny because when you're first watching the show, you don't realize it's set in two different time periods because you're dealing with the parents growing up and then the children growing up. And the children are growing up in modern time.
So it goes back and forth?
Yeah, but then as the show goes on, you start to realize that, and then you realize the parents growing up, and they have the rotary phones, they have the older cars, the dad gets stuck on a highway, and you can't use a cell phone. Like, those things that we take for granted, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. When you got a flat tire, you were just missing for 8 hours, and nobody knew.
You changed it yourself.
Yeah, well, and nobody knew where you were missing. And it wasn't a big deal. Like,
or you had to look for a call box.
Right.
Well, here's another one. When you called somebody, and this was before answering machines, they weren't home. That was it. I remember one time when my son was younger, we talked about rotary phones, and I think I actually showed him one, and we dial it. He goes, boy, that takes a long time. My gosh, I could have already had the phone call completed by the time you even connected.
That's funny.
And if you watch old Hollywood movies, because every phone number has 7 numbers, right? Short ones, like 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
And that was it. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's funny.
Going back to those days, when things that, you know what? And kids went out and played until dark. You just came home. Nobody knew where you were. No cell phones, no nothing. Wow.
Yeah. I remember, I think this was just a few months ago, there was something on TV where they were showing first graders the old rotary telephones. And they showed it to them. None of them knew what it was. And they said, that's a telephone. And they said, really? And then they're going, where do you swipe?
Where do you swipe? Exactly. Wow. I remember when push-button phones came out and what a big deal that was. And they've got the, what looks like the little hashtag and the star on there. And people were saying, well, what's that for? Well, someday in the future, you'll be able to do your banking through the phone. What?
Yeah.
Do banking through the phone. Actually demonstrated them. This
Right.
is going to be the way for the
You'll
future.
be able to see who you're talking to.
Right, in real time,
Yeah.
but that never happened.
Right.
And now we have the computer technology, which does the same thing.
Yeah.
So there's 5 minutes we're not going to ever get back again.
The history of telephones.
Yeah.
You know, I shouldn't probably mention this story, but, you know.
Wait a second. Whenever he says that, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking about
Button, right?
Button.
for the older people around here.
Jeremiah, get ready with a dump button.
You see the changes in technology, and sometimes you get caught in the middle. And I remember when, before cell phones, there were pagers, and that's how people got hold of you.
Exactly, right? Doctors are the first ones to have those.
And then they went to my cell phone wasn't that old, and I had three pushed a speed dial, I guess, and called myself on going, hello, hello. And I have and I'm carrying this conversation on probably for 30 seconds before I realize that I'm just talking to myself.
Uh-oh. They must have thought you were a little off that day, maybe?
You know, I don't do that anymore.
Well, that's good. It's good to get rid of those habits when, they're not good for you.
That's true.
All right, we got a lot to do today. We've got a guest who we've had on before, and we're going to get to our guest here probably after the break, but you've got things
We're
to
going to be
take care of.
talking about birds today, right?
Birds?
Yep.
With
birds and gardening.
With our guest who
Dr. John Roden.
We had him on a few months ago, right?
Was it a few months?
This
I feel it was
spring,
longer.
I think.
Maybe
Was it
longer.
spring?
Yeah, maybe longer.
Okay.
And then the birds and maybe not the bees, just the birds.
Yeah, just the birds.
Okay.
We don't want to get
Take
into
it
the
one at
bees
a
right
time.
now. Yeah.
Okay, John, you've got an interesting quote in the newsletter. If you're ready to read that quote of the week.
Well, I picked this quote because Sharon Asakawa wrote an article for the newsletter on herbs, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. So I took this quote from the Elfin Night, which is an old Scottish folk ballad. It was around 1650 it was written. And it says, tell her to or needlework, else
Can't take credit for that.
that was
Of course.
to it. And as I recall, the isn't that the one that had two and parsley, sage,
Rosemary and yes,
Yeah.
exactly. We learned that in had a music class in junior high school, and that was one of the first songs that the teacher had us sing. And then he would dissect it. You're like, okay, so what does this mean? To do this, sewing this and needle thread and all that. And he's like, that's impossible. You can't do that. So what they're telling you is, if you could do all those things, I will be your true love. But it's impossible to do it, so I can never be your true love.
But there was some, because it was written in 1650, there was some dude. Without any scene.
About that, Tiger, or are you just trying to keep us on Facebook, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I know, because we've got a few things happening with the video freezing and audio,
Exactly.
but you know what? We're going to work it out. We're on. Aaron used to say, and going to give up. We're here for 2 hours.
We were able to see Sharon and her daughter Tasia, who flew in from France
You know
last
what?
Saturday.
We haven't talked about the auction.
Oh yeah, Tasia is your daughter.
Yeah,
Tasha is
Wow.
Sharon's daughter.
I like the way the Tiger jumped in there.
Yeah, they're
Get it
spelled the
right.
same.
So what happened? So for those that weren't there, Sharon and her daughter showed up, and there was a special presentation.
they announce the name of the new rose, and it's presented to the public for the first time. And I have a new rose that I bred called Emiko after Sharon's granddaughter. So we decided to have a European-type christening, and we gave Sharon and her daughter a bottle of champagne, presented them with one of the Emiko roses, and then we had two of them. The other rose went up for auction.
Mm-hmm. It was good. That was a fun auction.
It was. It was really fun.
Had a great time. Good to see.
You were hobnobbing with all the stars over there.
Oh, yeah. Jerry Mathers and let's see. Jerry Mathers and I think Jerry Mathers, the three stars that I was with. You know, he was interesting. He was a DJ up in L.A. for a while. He was
I didn't
telling
know
me.
that.
Yeah. And live in Santa Clarita, big home. I said, oh, big home, big yard. He goes, well, no, the home takes up most of the property, but we have a decent amount of room. People were excited. You know, we auctioned off the rose and you were telling us or telling everybody about it, they didn't know he was in the front row.
Right.
There was a lot of people surprised when he stood up.
He was there with his wife.
I thought that
Teresa.
It was good to bring them up to the front row to do that.
For those of us listening that might not know the whole story, there was a new rose introduced at the auction this year, and it was named after Jerry Mathers. And so for the very first time, we Jerry and his wife.
Right.
And Jerry also brought a picture of himself that he autographed for them.
And signed it. So that worked out good. Everybody had a good time. Thank you so much. We brought in more money than we can ever remember, and that's all thanks to those who took part, so we do appreciate that. Okay, break time coming up. Our guest is next. I'm Bryan Main with Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco, John at GardenAmerica.com. Questions, comments for our guest or us right there on Facebook Live or 855-424-9825. We're coming back.
Everything is coming up roses in San Diego from October 25th to 29th. Lance Walheim here, and I'm honored to be the keynote speaker at the National Convention of the American Rose Society. BioAdvance and Heirloom Roses will be co-sponsoring the 18th annual Save the Roses auction, along with the rose shows, speakers, and festivities of the American Rose Society. So join me at the San Diego Crowne Plaza Hotel and Convention Center, and go to GardenAmerica.com and check the homepage for links to registration and event schedule.
This is Joe Lample from Growing a Greener World. With the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite Organic Nitrogen Fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 3 months. The organic nitrogen is slow release and won't burn plants even during hot, dry weather. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for 90 years. Milorganite, for better results naturally. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-569-3414. That's 800-569-3414. Again, 800-569-3414.
Does your water stain and damage your fixtures? Does it smell or taste bad? Are you worried about what's in your water? Water quality should not be painful and worrisome. Get HydroCare water systems from Wave Home Solutions with the most advanced purification technologies. Call Wave Home Solutions today at 1-888-989-WAVE or go to GreatHealthyWater.com. HydroCare will eliminate limescale that causes hundreds of dollars in damage to pipes and appliances without using salt. Well water will no longer smell or stain your fixtures. City water, purified of harmful chlorine, lead. For more information, call 1-888-989-WAVE, 1-888-989-WAVE, or go to GreatHealthyWater.com. That's GreatHealthyWater.com.
Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
It may have been a messy divorce that suddenly cut your income in half, but not your bills. It might have been an injury or illness, or your boss just cutting back your hours. It doesn't really matter how you got in over your head. It only matters that you are and that we're here to help. If you've got over $10,000 in credit card debt and you can't ever see breaking free, then call Action Debt and do it now. Being in over your head is a vicious cycle. One day late, they charge you a late fee. Miss a payment, they double your rate. You just don't think it's fair, and neither do we. This is not bankruptcy or just a simple rate reduction plan. We $10,000 to the credit card companies. You owe it to yourself to call Action Debt. Call 800-384-7099 today and we can be on your side tomorrow. 800-384-7099. 800-384-7099.
This is Biz Talk Radio, America's home for business talk. Online at biztalkradio.com.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
And, of course, you can reach us through Facebook Live, questions, comments, and even talk to each other if need be. Again, we are back at Tiger. Back, you're going to gain an hour.
Isn't that exciting? That's funny. Do you know?
Arizona and Hawaii.
And like one block was like daylight savings time and the next block wasn't. Really something silly and stupid. If somebody knows, let us know about that. But I think that's it, right, John? Just those couple, 2 or 3 states.
As far as I know, and it's Tiger pointed
out earlier to us during the break, it's on the ballot for California this year. You said to just allow the legislature
to decide.
Legislature.
Daylight, and I think Benjamin Franklin was involved somehow. Is that?
Yeah, I think it had to do with the farmers and the harvesting and companies. Also, I think there was the idea that that people would use less electricity if they were just up during the day. Yeah, certain things like that. So.
Hey, it's guest time, and a lot to talk about, Tiger. 22 minutes after the hour.
Yeah, so this weekend we have one of our fine guests from the Audubon Society, Dr. John Roden. Also, getting into the fall, I'm sure there's then coming up later in the year is going to be the backyard bird count. Dr. Roden, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
We're doing great. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, so our listeners know, and who you work with.
Sure. So I am the Director of Community Conservation for the National Audubon Society. So Audubon is a bird conservation organization that was founded actually early last century. So we're over 110 years old now. And at our heart is bird conservation. We have chapters, 460 chapters all over the U.S. We have 41 nature centers scattered across the country, 22 state offices, and a lot of people working in communities all over the country to help protect birds. And one of the ways that we certainly encourage them to protect birds is by planting native plants, which better support our native bird species.
And you say native plants. Tell us a few reasons why native plants specifically, protect birds.
Sure. So I'm responsible for our bird-friendly communities conservation strategy, which seeks to provide food, shelter, safe passage, and places to raise young for our native bird species. And plants are crucial to all of those things. And plants, just by their nature, can provide structure for birds to nest in, better than non-native plants because one of the things that our birds rely on, obviously, is food, and they get food directly from plants through berries, nuts, nectar, all of those things, but also as well by the insects, and particularly caterpillars that feed on our native plants. And it's particularly important when birds need extra energy. So if they need them directly when they're producing new feathers, that's important, but also very critically is when they're raising their young. And birds, almost universally, regardless of what they eat as adults, feed caterpillars to their babies, and the reason is that those caterpillars are great sources of fat and protein, which those chicks need to thrive and survive. So because our native insects have evolved with our native plants, there's actually some specificity there that caterpillars, butterflies, and moths will lay their eggs on plants to help their young survive, and they've evolved with these native plants that they have a relationship with, and so those native plants act as hosts for those caterpillars, which then can feed our native bird species as they're raising their chicks. And so it's a pretty neat and connected ecological connection that we really we need to keep in mind as we're thinking about the plants that we use if we want to support our birds, which I encourage you to do.
And I've got two questions for you. And one is, we talk about these caterpillars. So I live here in California, and I'm sure this caterpillar exists in other parts of the country. The tomato hornworm. Which bird eats that?
And can we get a bunch of them?
and can I teach them to stay in my yard?
Yeah, that's a good question. What bird can swallow something that big?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's a pretty big, juicy caterpillar you're talking about there. And so that's going to be something like a tomato hornworm. And I would imagine that, maybe not when its chicks first hatch, but
And then I got another question for you. I guess I would just call it a crow. Just those black birds in my yard. Sure. And they're digging up my
lawn.
These crows are actually digging?
They're actually digging up my lawn.
Looking for grubs?
I'm that's what I'm asking Dr. Roden. What are they doing why are they digging in my lawn?
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, mostly, and crows, man, they are some smart and inquisitive and curious birds. But a lot of bird behavior is based on looking for resources or looking for mates. And so if you look at sort of step back and think, what might they be doing? I don't imagine they're probably looking for mates under there, but I'm sure that they're probably looking for resources. Either, like you said, maybe they're looking for grubs or other stuff that's under there. I mean, I imagine that you have a pretty healthy lawn, which has some sort of worms and grubs and stuff that are actually keeping it aerated and healthy. So certainly it's maybe a byproduct of that they see that there are great resources there that they're trying to get after. Probably something like that.
Oh, gosh, man. All right.
I mean, are they doing damage to your lawn?
Yeah, and crows aren't just one bird.
No.
There's 4 or 5 of them.
Smart birds, right? I mean, they can figure things out. They can use tools.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're tool using. They can solve puzzles. They are smart birds, and so I think that as we build a broader network of folks that have great yards and great places where there's resources, maybe that'll spread out the wealth a little bit more. Seems like they're focusing on your yard a bit, but hopefully let's encourage all of your neighbors to have great spaces for them to forage as well.
Okay, we got to go to a break, Tiger.
All right.
This is good information, though, Doctor. Stay with us. We're going to come back, and if you have any questions, you're on Facebook Live. Post your questions or comments for our guest, or John at gardenamerica.com. You can also reach us via telephone at 855-424-9825, and hopefully you're not still using a rotary phone, but if you are, that's okay. Just take you a little longer to dial in. Anyway, happy Saturday morning, happy weekend. Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. Thank you for tuning in as Garden America continues right after this.
Whether you travel for business, vacations, weekend breakaways, romantic interludes, or family adventures, you'll learn about unique destinations and tips to make your travel smooth, efficient, hassle-free, and inspirational when you listen to Travel with Stephanie Abrams.
Hi, this is Stephanie Abrams. Enjoy our fast-paced show traveling from beaches to mountaintops, cities to fairy tale castles, whether you're traveling for business or adventure. So pack your bags and join us.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who have agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patents. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people
That's 1-800-607-8945. Again, 1-800-607-8945.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-217-5107. 800-217.
As a small business owner, there's one word that you absolutely dread: payroll. For small businesses, it's a big burden. You may think you're saving time and money doing it yourself. But come on, are you? Timesheets, processing checks, calculating taxes, a total waste of your time. Paychex simplifies payroll processing, saving you time and money. Submit your payroll online. Fax it in. Come on, do the math. The IRS dishes out 8 million penalties a year. Make one mistake, and you're on the hook. On average, you're losing nearly one business day every month doing payroll. That's time and 877-649-53.
Health Alert Hotline now.
You be covered by Medicare or your private insurance. The Health Alert Hotline is your determine your eligibility and to learn how to use your private insurance or Medicare to
See, that's what I don't like right there. Blue light.
at little or no cost to you.
800-306-1760. 800-306-1760. 800-306-1760. That's 800-306-1760.
I live alone and rarely have visitors. So when I slipped and fell in the kitchen last month and couldn't get to a phone, I knew I was in trouble.
Help!
I could barely move.
Help!
I tried calling for help, but no one could hear me. As I lay there, I terrified. It took 8 hours for my neighbor to find me. That's when I knew I needed. I'm connected to a center where I can get the help.
For your free Life Alert brochure. That's 1-800-414-1958. 1-800-414-1958.
This is Biz Talk Radio, America's home for business talk.
Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855.
And I want to welcome all those listening here in San Diego, AM 1240. Anybody listening wants to pick up the replay, AM 740 this afternoon in Los Angeles, starting at 2 p.m. Talking about birds this morning. Now, our guest is not for the birds.
I know the answer. Between, or is there a difference?
Actively investigated. I think that probably, the similar sort of, they exist in similar sort of evolutionary situations and have to solve similar problems. So I would imagine they're as clever as crows, but I don't think it's actually been really deliberately tested. But
You
pretty smart birds.
You can only fool a and after that, nevermore.
Right.
I know where you're going with that. That was very good.
Hey, so I was right. The raven is the larger of the birds, and quite a noticeably larger, right?
Yes, depending on the species. Yeah, so the common raven that lives in North America is a bit bigger than our native crow species. We have several crow species across the country, but
Crows mainly in what we would consider northern climates, or doesn't make any difference?
Yeah, so they do overlap. The raven is more of a northern, and crows exist, and again, there's several different species more universally and farther south. But the Corvus genus and the family Corvidae that crows and ravens fall into exist around the world. So there's definitely there's a wide-ranging group of birds.
It's good to know.
Hey, so Dr. Roden, so I understand that the Audubon Society has put out, as we were talking before, a Plant for the Bird campaign, and they're giving people resources to be able to see what they can plant in their area that would benefit the birds in their region, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we understand, like I talked about, how native plants are beneficial for our native bird species. And so we wanted to actually provide tools and resources for people to actually be able to learn more about that and to get the information they need if they're thinking about putting in plants to support birds. So we have a data put in their zip code. That's the only piece of information they need to provide. And from there, we'll give them a list of the plants that are native to their area. And these are plants that are particularly good for birds, providing those resources they need, and as well as generally available in the retail trade. So they'll get a list of those plants. They'll see which birds could be supported by those plants based on the resources that the plants provide. And as well, we have a list of local retailers that carry native plants and what your local Audubon is, because we understand that, getting a list of plants, there's a lot of information, and your listeners and y'all will of course, be the first to understand how you need more than just a list of plants when you're thinking about how do I transform space and appropriately care for plants. So connecting through to their local Audubon can be a great way to get that additional support, particularly, again, if they're interested in supporting birds. So we did put all of that information as readily available as we could through our database.
And one question that I get when working with people and they talk about native plants and butterfly gardens and hummingbird gardens and bird gardens is just the idea that, okay, you planted this stuff. Now, is there any other steps into a
Again, thinking about food, shelter, safe. So there's a few things. Birds definitely need a water source, and that can be as simple as a bird bath, something like that. You'll need to obviously change that water out, relatively frequently, but that's both for drinking and for bathing because birds do generally bathe in water. So providing that, again, providing places for them to shelter, and some of that, may be that we don't do some, like heavy pruning. We leave our stuff a little more natural so that they'll have places to shelter. And leaf litter is another one that's kind of an interesting thing to leave around. And one of the reasons for that is that native moth species, when they lay their eggs and their caterpillars are feeding on plants, 94% of all moth caterpillars actually pupate in the leaf litter. So what they'll do is they'll drop down to the ground and continue their life cycle there before they emerge as moths. And so, again, we want to continue to support our native insect populations. And so actually, keeping leaf litter on the ground will give birds a place to forage in there as well, but also allow for those insects to complete their life cycle. So I guess one sort of overall suggestion through all of that is that, thinking about leaving your yards a little bit natural, especially during the winter when birds need those resources. So maybe there you go. It's a little bit, you have to do a little bit less yard work.
Yeah, that's a good reason to say, if my wife is like, hey, the yard's looking a little bit messy, I go, hey, I'm leaving it for the birds. And for our listeners, once again, .org, and if you birds, and there's a lot of wonderful programs they've put together, and there's a few months left of some of their different events and informative programs, and you can scroll through there and there will be a Help Birds with Native Plants area where you type in the zip code and you can get all of the information that Dr. Roden has described. Do you have anything coming up before the end of the year that you're excited about? Do you guys have any events, any kind of special seminars or anything like that?
Well, thanks for the shout out, and I would definitely encourage people to go to our website and look for what may be happening in your local area. One of the big things that we'll have going on before the end of the year is we have what's called a Christmas bird count, which is one of the longest running community science-based programs in the world. It's been happening since 1900, where folks can go out in their local communities and count birds. And it doesn't always happen on Christmas Day. It's in the 2-week period around those holidays. And people can get connected through to their local Audubon, go out. It really helps us, again, over time, understand how bird populations are changing, how they're coping with the changing world and everything. And that's actually a global endeavor for us to understand that. But across the U.S., there's plenty of places where people can plug into that, and I would encourage your listeners to actually check it out on Audobon.org and get connected to their local Audubon.
And what a great way. I mean, with modern technology nowadays and communication, I mean, you used to have to depend on professionals in certain areas to go out and count birds, and it'd only be maybe 1 or 10 people in a certain area. Well, nowadays you can connect with millions and get all of that data and be able to kind of see. You guys must be seeing some really interesting new trends that as scientists you never had access to before, huh, Dr. Roden?
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, the interesting thing since Christmas bird count has been going on since 1900, and it wasn't actually set up as a specific scientific inquiry into bird population changes, but because we have this year it'll be 119 years of data, we can see how birds are responding to things like climate change, and so how their populations are shifting. And it's an incredibly valuable data set, and you're absolutely right that it gives scientists, like the ones that work for us, the ability to get glimpses into those sorts of phenomena that they have no way to do, just by on their own back. So relying on, the millions of people that can participate, it's a really, really valuable way for people to contribute to scientific understanding.
Yep, talk to you next time soon, Doctor. Appreciate it. Okay,
anytime. Thanks.
You got it. There it goes. We're going to go straight to these
Having
messages.
bug problems this season? Need an overall solution? Try Natural Guard Spinosad Soap. This combination of spinosad and fatty acids kills aphids, mealybugs, worms, caterpillars, and other bugs that plague your garden. It's also safe to use around your fruit and veggies to make sure you enjoy your crop and not those pesky critters. Find Natural Guard Spinosad Soap in a ready-to-use bottle or ready to spray for those large garden plots at your favorite independent garden center. Go to fertilome.com for more information. Want a better-looking lawn with less effort? Husqvarna's robotic automower is the effortless way to mow. Husqvarna's intelligent design allows the automower to maneuver around your lawn without supervision, even over tricky terrain and around obstacles. It knows when it needs to be charged and directs itself back to the charging dock. With convenient control options, the Husqvarna allows you to set it and forget it, even from your smartphone. Thanks to Husqvarna, you can have a great-looking lawn and more time to enjoy it this season. Visit Mission Hills Nursery at 1525 Fort Stockton Drive in San Diego, or go to missionhillsnursery.com for more info.
Want more business content? You need BizVod, the place for business videos on demand. With BizVod, you can watch the business videos you want to watch when you want to watch. Search for topics that interest you. Available on Roku and Web TV, and soon on Amazon Fire, Apple TV, iOS, and Android. With BizVod, you don't have to wait for business content. You are in control with hundreds of business shows and clips available on demand. Log on to BizVod today and use promo code RADIO for your first month free. The BizVod is only $49.95 for the year. That's less than $5 a month. Again, the promo code for your first 30 days free is RADIO. BizVod, the place for business videos on demand. Log on to bizvod.com and join today.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-285-4765. Again, 800-285-4765.
We paid less for our Craftmatic today than we did 20 years ago.
If you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Rated #1 by consumers nationwide on consumeraffairs.com. Craftmatic beds come in all mattress types, including cool gel memory foam for up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, poor circulation, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. You'll sleep better in a Craftmatic adjustable bed. So if you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and information. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Discover Craftmatic for less, up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand.
Call 1-800-316-5271. That's 1-800-316-5271. 1-800-316-5271.
Call now.
Does your water stain and damage your fixtures? Does it smell or taste bad? Are you worried about what's in your water? Water quality should not be painful and worrisome. Get HydroCare water systems from Wave Home Solutions with the most advanced purification technologies. Call Wave. GreatHealthyWater.com. HydroCare will eliminate limescale that causes hundreds of dollars in damage to pipes and appliances without using salt. Well water will no longer smell or stain your fixtures. City water will be purified of harmful chlorine, lead, arsenic, and chemicals. Wave Home Solutions provides the cleanest, healthiest water at every faucet. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 1-888-989-WAVE, 1-888-989-WAVE, or go to GreatHealthyWater.com. That's GreatHealthyWater.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Biz Talk Radio, America's home for business talk. Online at biztalkradio.com.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
And just like that, hour number one, final segment. Streaming via business. The replay of each of these programs, but
One comment
that I made.
No,
Nick.
Yeah,
I think Nick's being funny. I think Nick was the one that's. What did Nick? He wrote something last week on Facebook. Gosh, I forget what it was. Anyway, thank you, Nick. We do appreciate that, your humor there. All right, 52 minutes after the hour. Learned a lot about birds. Let me ask you a question. I was going to ask Doctor. We ran out of time. So, hummingbird feeder, typical sugar water.
Nectar.
The nectar sugar water. Now, what are they looking at? Do they see the red and know that it's full? Because when ours goes down and it's empty, they know it's not there. They wait. Once we fill it up again, they come back.
No, they don't see the red.
What are they looking at? What draws them, I guess?
The scent.
The scent of it. So they know when it's empty, there's no scent coming out of there.
Well, no, they'll go by and test it.
They will.
Meaning it still smells like nectar.
And it gets all the way to the bottom and they know that's it.
And then they come up to it and they go, there's nothing left in it, and they move on.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, there was a big to-do about that red nectar for a while that what was it? Red dye number 4 and
number 2, I think.
It's causing the birds to have ADD and different things like that.
Well, we've got one hummingbird that actually patrols the patio, and he chases other hummingbirds out of there.
Oh, they're very territorial.
Very territorial, and they fight all the time.
Well, that's the funny thing when you see those videos about, those big hummingbird feeders that have 12 ports for birds, and you see 20 birds floating around. That's actually kind of not too common to get a group of hummingbirds together like that.
Close, right.
They usually, like you said, will kind of fight each other off or
we put a little perch
claim
up, like a little perch up right next to it, and this one sits there all the time, and even when there's no nectar in there, he knows it's coming soon.
Yeah.
And he chases them away. They're very fun. They're very interesting birds to watch.
They are. They're fun.
If you are a bird watcher, which we are. What else on the docket today?
Do you know that Cuba has bee hummingbirds?
Bee hummingbirds.
Yeah.
Like bees that are as big as hummingbirds?
No, hummingbirds that are the size of a bee.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
That's cute.
The world's smallest
The other way around
hummingbird.
Scares me, but
I don't like what you described at all. Now, so when you were in Cuba, you saw some, John, right?
Yeah, if you Google bee hummingbird, you'll see how small they are. You could probably fit, my guess would be 5 or 6 of them in the palm of your hand.
Gee, and you know how hyper regular hummingbirds are, and their heart
Yeah.
beats so fast. I wonder about those little guys.
Oh man,
because they exert a lot of energy.
You know what I picked at Thursday at my house? It came up from seed, or it survived over the winter and was growing up in among a rose bush, so I didn't realize it.
But you knew it was there at some point?
When I saw it coming up, I just let it go. My wife always says that it looks weedy, so she tells me to pull them out.
By the way, happy birthday to your wife.
Oh.
Didn't she just have her birthday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Happy birthday.
That's right.
Anyway, back to your story. I didn't mean to, sorry about that.
What was I talking about?
I knew that wouldn't
It
break
came up
him.
from seed in your
Yeah,
backyard.
yeah. So it was, since this was growing right in with a rose bush, it didn't look as out of place. So it just came up through the rose stems, and I left it grow. But it was the sometimes they call it giant ground cherry or Cape gooseberry. Are you familiar with
No.
those? Physalis peruviana.
Well, that we're familiar with.
No, I do know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has, like the Japanese lantern plants that have the little orange, kind of husky.
They look like
they
an
hang down
they look
like,
like a lantern. They look like a lantern.
Right. On this, it has the same kind of thing, except that it's brown. It doesn't turn red like that ornamental plant. And inside is a fruit about the size of a small cherry. And they're really, really good.
Sweet?
Sweet.
Wow.
And maybe I'll bring some in next week. I picked them all.
Yeah, we'll eat them.
Yeah, they're like the size of like a black olive that you see in there. Right?
Not quite that big.
No?
No.
Okay.
Maybe a
bit
black
smaller.
olive that hasn't come to fruition yet?
I like the size of a giant pea.
Okay.
A little bit bigger. But anyway, it's really good. They take a long time to produce. The regular ground cherries, they grow all over the country, but the giant one's a little bit more tropical and takes a little bit longer to produce. I think.
Well, in Fallbrook, yeah, but tropics.
Well, I don't happen to be in the tropics.
Exactly.
Tiger.
Hey, John, do you recall who, this might be a little stretch, who was the winning bidder on Kendall Marie on your rose?
Oh.
No, I don't.
Your granddaughter, that the rose you named after her?
I don't know who won that rose.
I think we got some decent money for it. I think it sold well.
Yeah.
It was a great auction. It was a lot of fun. Of course, we can attribute a lot of that to the convention, I'm sure. People were there.
Oh, most of it to the convention, and the rest of it, your skill as an auctioneer.
Well, I do appreciate that, but my point is, I think we put on a good show for those out-of-towners. They should remember that.
Well, and then if the listeners get a chance to go onto our Facebook page and you can scroll back through or go to our photos section. I posted do the cut roses, and they have the different roses they get graded and
the actual show.
The actual show.
The show itself.
And some nice plants there.
Yeah.
Okay, I took photos on Sunday, which was
the second day.
The second day of this. And this is at the end of the day, Sunday.
Right.
And these roses still looked absolutely spectacular. Yeah. And we're talking, there was one, and I can't recall it off the top of my head, but it's in the photos, and it was a brown rose, and it was absolutely gorgeous.
Brown rose.
Just the most beautiful coloration of brown that I've seen come out. Because that's the thing is, it truly did look like the picture of a brown rose, because a lot of times when you get a black rose or a brown rose,
right,
you kind of you grow it and you're like, it doesn't really look like the picture. This one really did.
It's like when John does the presentation and he's got the picture of the roses up there, and people are thinking, now, is it really that dark?
Right.
Or is it a little lighter?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Exactly.
A brown rose. Did you take a picture?
Choco, yeah, I did. It's on our Facebook feed. Chocolate something or cocoa. I can't remember the
Beautiful.
name.
There's a Coco Loco.
Coco Loco. I think that was it. Yeah, it was
All right.
cool.
We're going to take a break. We've got news coming up top of the hour. We are back at 6 minutes after Facebook Live. Stay with us. Also, John at GardenAmerica.com, 855-424-9825. Hour number 2 coming up next. It is a Saturday morning. Tiger Palafox, Bryan, Maine. John Bagnasco here at Garden America.
Listen on the go. Download the Biz Talk Radio app. Available on iOS, Android, and BlackBerry. Biz Talk Radio. The opinions you hear on Biz Talk Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of this station, Biz Talk Radio, its management, or advertisers. The information on Biz Talk Radio does not constitute a recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or service. If you have any questions about Talk Radio. Contact us at 817-274-1609 or at biztalkradio.com. This is Biz Talk Radio, America's home for business talk online.
For USA Radio News, I'm Rick Vincent. It's been 1 week since the deadly shooting of 11 worshipers at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. Rabbi Jeffrey Myers victim.
This was the last funeral, and every time I do one, particularly for me, because I'm also a cantor, when I chant the memorial prayer, it takes a piece of my soul away, and I have no more left to give.
Mallinger, who once served as the school secretary at Tree of Life, was a fixture there for 60 years, regularly attending worship services with her family. Midterm elections generally tend to draw out an older, wider electorate, but Jake Evans says this year.
Well, at least in Georgia, and I'm president of Atlanta Young Republicans.
USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Wayne Alarouts. It doesn't take much for grocery store shelves to go from fully stocked to completely bare. Please don't wait for an emergency to happen to become a victim of chaos and a government that cannot provide. Make sure you have an adequate food storage supply and use My Patriot Supply. These are great folks I've started working with. They've helped me plan for an emergency. I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be difficult. In fact, with this first step, you can make any crisis seem like an inconvenience. Get each person in your household a 2-week emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. They're only $67. That's it. $67 for 2 weeks of food that lasts up to 5 years. Call now, 888-524-6540, or use the special website, Prepare.
Demonizing Jews and Muslims, poor people and non-white people.
She's one of those speaking out against what she calls President Trump's anti-migrant and divisive rhetoric concerning the north through Mexico toward the U.S. border. Now that police have identified the shooter at a Tallahassee yoga studio attack that left 2 people dead before killing himself, Police Chief Michael DeLeo says they can begin to examine what motivated Scott Paul Bealey.
What his phone records are, social media, laptops, talking to his friends, his neighbors, his family members about what may have precipitated this event.
Healthcare. Stop letting others tell you what to do. Call us at 855-58-LIBERTY for more information or check us out online at libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org.
The Supreme Court says it won't block a lawsuit over climate change. USA's Wendy King reports.
The Trump administration requested the suit be stopped, saying that it was misguided. But the High Court ruled the administration didn't reach the high bar necessary to halt it. The justices suggested the White House consider a federal appeals court if necessary for its request. At issue is a lawsuit brought by youths accusing the U.S. government of failing to properly address climate change. The plaintiffs allege that as a result, they're being deprived of their rights to life, liberty, and property. For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
4 tornadoes reportedly touched down in the Bay Area counties of Florida Friday afternoon as a line of intense storms moved swiftly through the area and across the state. There were also some radar-indicated tornadoes. What's believed to be an EF1 tornado touched Newport Richey. Part of a long line of storms ripped off roofs, down trees, and left thousands without power. In Pinellas Park, Chuck DeMarco was at the supermarket.
My wife called me. She said, "Come home now." Tornado, that's all she said. I was praying that I would find my house. So we were spared.
Nearly 60,000 people were without power. A 6-year-old tiger in India is dead after killing at least 13 people over 2 years. The BBC reports rangers were called into a small village after the man-eating tiger was spotted. They intended to use a tranquilizer, but the cat charged and was killed by a single shot. For USA Radio News, I'm Rick Vincent.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. Cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-521-9579 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-521-9579 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-521-9579. That's 1-800-521-9579. Again, 1-800-521-9579.
Welcome to the Garden America Show, the country's most listened to gardening program. This is your chance to join us as we talk about gardening, horticulture, landscaping, in fact, anything that has to do with the world of gardening. The phone lines are open right now at 1-855-424-9825. That's 1-855-424-9825 for your questions and comments. Or John at gardenamerica.com. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, you can also post your questions and comments right there on our page during the broadcast. Now, here's Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox on the Garden America Radio and Media Network.
And we are right back here, hour number 2. Thank you, Facebook viewers. Those listening on the radio do appreciate it. Again, 855-424-9825. You want to pick up the phone, call us. John at gardenamerica.com. Questions, comments, even better on Facebook Live, and already people commenting, Dale commenting on the hummingbird.
The hummingbird red dye.
No red dye, and yes, we are aware of that. And I think for the most part, I think the manufacturers have taken that out if there ever was red dye. See, leave it to John. He thinks of these things.
That was good.
John does think out of the box.
Yeah.
We do appreciate that.
So, not to dip too much into the podcast that we're this morning after our show, we're going to be taping a podcast, and we're going to be talking about gardening zones and what they mean, how to use them.
Right.
You know, what the zones give you for information when it comes to planting, because people get this idea that zones are the way that they plant, meaning, you know, if you know your zone, you know how to plant your garden.
What will live and what won't. Yeah, okay.
But it definitely will tell you what will live and what won't, but it doesn't tell you information about when to plant or you know, seasonality and things like that, like when to plant your annuals, when to plant your vegetables, different things. It just tells you what will survive.
What should survive. And even that, you know, you could probably happen to survive. As far as what to plant, what not to plant.
Exactly. And you know, so what we're going to do is we're going to dive deeper into the principles behind the zones. The USDA zone, which is the United States Department of Agriculture, you know, sets up their zones, and they change it. I mean, I think it just recently changed 4 or 5 years ago, where they modified it because it's all based on frost time, freeze times, things like that.
So after the show, as Tiger mentioned, we're going to be recording that podcast. I will have that up on our podcast page Monday, probably in the morning. So like Tiger said, we're going to dive deep. And that's exactly what our podcast shows consist of. We do a lot of general conversations here on a radio show for 2 hours. The podcast, we take about maybe 20, 25 minutes, and we dive deep and really get detailed into each and every subject. So again, download the iHeart Media app, the radio app, or in the newsletter. You've got to be a subscriber. John puts the link in that newsletter, and it is so easy. You click it, it takes you right to our podcast shows. And to become a subscriber to the newsletter, go to gardenamerica.com. right there on a Facebook page. You can click to subscribe. We don't share information either. That's a big thing. People, well, in this day and age, in fact, I just had to sign something that Ford Motor Company sent. Unless you sign this and say you don't want us to share your information, we're going to share it.
Geez.
So I said, no, don't share. Don't share. Let me decide that. So
on my computer at work, a pop-up that says Microsoft wants to access your webcam.
Uh-oh.
It's like, why would I want anybody to access my webcam?
I don't think that
it comes up every day.
Really?
Yeah. Does that mean to give you the ability to use it? Why would they? That just sounds fishy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just like it's just an app thing that it, like you said, like it's either you allow at that point in time, or if you wanted to use it later on, it would then ask you again. But that is kind of like a general question. Can we use it whenever you want to use it?
Right.
And you don't want to allow that. You only want to approve the use of your webcam whenever you.
They know what we're doing
specifically
anyway. They got, what? I see people outside my house with binoculars.
Oh.
And they got the FBI's got the technology now that goes right through your walls. And of course the old conspiracy theory about your TV set. If you have a smart TV, they're watching you through the TV. A lot to be nervous about these days, Tiger.
Oh, I am very nervous.
A lot to be nervous about.
Because I'm hiding so much.
Shout out to our friends Kathy and Hank on Shasta Lake today.
Shasta Lake, hey, and
It's
I hope
their anniversary.
It is.
Oh, is that right?
Congratulations, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They had an anniversary dinner with lobster.
And I do hope Hank is feeling better. Hope all is good with Hank and his health. And thank you for checking in on Facebook Live, Kathy. And boy, enjoy your day. What a great time that sounds like.
Yeah.
I was last night we went out for my wife's birthday dinner.
Birthday dinner.
And I don't know how it came up, but we were talking about, when the winter rains would start here in San Diego, and we started talking about the driest place on Earth, and we were supposing that might be the North or South Pole, like it would never rain there, right?
Right.
But we found an area that's drier than that, and it's the Atacama Desert, and they get less than 1 millimeter of rain a year.
And where is that located?
Wow.
That's in Chile.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought it was in Chile, but you're saying it's in Chile.
Chile.
Okay, all right. I would have thought someplace in the Middle East, and it's, or maybe.
This place is so dry that they think from records.
How dry is it?
That they had no rain from like 1560 until 1725.
My gosh.
Wow.
Like 200 years without
I'd like
rain.
to know. I'd like to. Is it non-populated area?
Oh, I'm sure.
Not populated, but a lot of desert plants, flowers, and
that have learned how to
cactus and succulents.
Survive 20 years without water. Jeez.
That's
well,
what
that would
you
have
want.
been 200 years.
Well, but I'm just saying in general.
Can you imagine that saying, "Hey, take these home. It doesn't matter if it rains or not. They're going to live."
Yeah.
But
They're
that's
gonna
that.
survive.
Just make sure
what's
you don't
that-
overwater these.
That resurrection plant.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
The Selaginella.
Yeah, that it's a dried up tumbleweed kind of a thing, and then you add water to it, and it comes to life.
And then what is the century plant, John? Is that really bloom once a century? She puts that one big shoot up,
The
that one big
agave.
spike.
Yeah, that's agave,
agave.
americana.
Yeah.
And no, it blooms more often than that, but it depends where you are. The more water it gets, the quicker it will bloom. But usually it's anywhere from, I would say, 15 to 30 years for a bloom.
I had one of those one time in my house in Pacific Beach, and I didn't even know that the landscaper had put it in. And all of a sudden, this shoot came up, and they explained what it was, and I went, "Century." So
When I lived in,
this will be it, like
Did
Haley's
they explain
Comet.
to you that it dies when it's done too?
Of course not. I had to learn that on my own.
well, they get pretty big.
They do get big. Yeah, they do.
When I was living in Michigan, I came out here for a friend's wedding, and they had condos in Newport Beach up in the bluffs. And I wasn't that familiar with century plants, but I knew a little bit about them. And they put off those pups off to the side. So I out along the road or somewhere there was a plant growing, and I pulled one off the side and planted it in their yard. And, you know, they have these little condo backyards up there in Newport Beach. And about 8 years later, they were cussing me out because they had to call someone in to take this plant out.
Well, how do they know
They're pretty
you did
sharp.
it? How did they know it was you?
I told them.
Yeah.
I just said
I thought you were being sneaky.
Try it.
We
See
even
what
named
happens.
we even named it. We called it Methuselah because it was a century plant.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you've been out here to Southern California?
Was that the first?
Because something motivated you to, besides the cold weather, to move out to this particular area.
I told you why I moved out here, didn't I?
Well,
I was working,
gardening wise.
Well, I was working for the world's largest garden center at the time in the Midwest, Frank's Nursery.
Mm-hmm.
I was working for them, but Pier 1 Imports offered me a job in Fort Worth, Texas, at double what I was making. And, you know, back at that time, they also offered me 3 trips around the world a year as a buyer. And on one of the trips, I could take my wife. So I thought, wow, this, you know, really sounds nice.
It's in Texas, though, right?
Now this is where my wife came into it, because I quit my job and decided we're moving to Texas. And
without consulting her?
No, she was all for it.
Oh, okay.
Well, she was all for me, you know, doubling my salary. But then a month before we were supposed to leave, she said, I'm not moving to Texas. And I said, well, now that I don't have a job, where do you want to move? She goes, I don't care, but I'm not moving to Texas.
She did some research.
And I said, well, what about California? She said, yeah, my mom lives out there. I'll move out there. So called up someone I knew, said, want me to come work for you? And I went to work for the same amount of money Pier 1 was going to give me.
Wow. I think it was a lot easier to get a job back then.
I've been here ever since.
And we're happy to have you, by the way, in case we haven't mentioned
you.
that. It is break time. Questions, comments on Facebook, john@gardenamerica.com. We're going to come right back on this Saturday.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite slow-release nitrogen fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a slow and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for over 90 years. Milorganite for better results. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
Everything is coming up roses in San Diego from October 25th to 29th. Lance Walheim here, and I'm honored to be the keynote speaker at the National Convention of the American Rose Society. BioAdvance and Heirloom Roses will be co-sponsoring the 18th annual Save the Roses auction, along with the rose shows, speakers, and festivities of the American Rose Society. So join me at the San Diego Crown Plaza Hotel and Convention Center, and go to GardenAmerica.com and check the homepage for links to registration and event schedule.
Being a business owner or entrepreneur can feel lonely. Unless your friends have walked the same path, they just don't understand your passion. How many times have you been asked, when are you going to get a real job? And when you finally do make it big, all of a sudden the doubters tell you they always knew you would. Does this sound familiar? You see, at BizBod, we understand the road you're on because we're on the same path. That's why we created a club just for you. Meet other people on the same path you're on and get content that will help you grow your business. All for only $49.95 a year. And if you join today, you can get your first 30 days free with promo code RADIO. This is a limited time offer, so try it for free, and who knows, you might be able to help other members. Simply go to bizbod.com and enter promo code RADIO.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-569-3414. That's 800-569-3414. Again, 800-569-3414.
Do you have an old car sitting in your driveway? How would you like to learn a hassle-free way to get rid of it, help kids in need, and get a great tax donation in the process? It's real easy. One simple free call to our car donation hotline is all it takes. Call the Nishama Foundation at 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. We'll come pick your car up for free and give you a tax donation for the full value of the car, running or not. The value of your unwanted car will go to help kids in need. It's fast and easy. Just call us and your car will be gone and on its way to helping children in 48 hours. And you get a nice tax deduction. Call the Nishama Foundation now to get rid of your car, help kids, and get a tax write-off. 6723, 800-721-6723. That's 800-721-6723.
This is Biz Talk Radio, America's
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
Oh, the stories we tell during the breaks. My gosh, we'll get back to that after the next break, or during the next break, I should say. By the way, 21 minutes after the hour, you're tuned in, listening, and watching Garden America at 855-424-9825. Questions for John or us, anybody. John at gardenamerica.com, Facebook Live for all other questions and comments.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, yes, you can.
All right. This question is for John.
All right,
Could
John?
you post it on Facebook, please? Or send me an email.
Yeah.
So I planted those tomatoes, remember, in 15 gallons in the spring.
The one the rats ate?
The one the rats ate.
Yeah.
But they're completely refoliated, and they bloomed, and I'm starting to set fruit again. Was it the Bush 506? Is 6 feet tall.
That's pretty tall for a Bush 506.
In that amount of time.
Yeah. And they're refoliated, and like I said, they're starting to set fruit again. But they're getting dense. Should I thin them out?
Yeah, especially if you want them to ripen.
Okay. Out and gave them more care with that.
Nutrients will go into the fruit
Okay.
rather than to leaves.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm having that problem with mine. And thinned them out.
Okay,
Got these
okay, yeah.
Gigantic masses you can hardly get by.
Right.
Loaded with fruit. And it's getting too late for tomatoes to set fruit.
Right.
Because they won't set fruit when the temperatures are too cold at night. But if the fruit's already set, it should ripen unless
yeah,
they
and I was
get
just saying, it
abnormally
seems like
cold
it's
weather.
taking longer.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It's that simple. You can do it on Facebook Live. You can email John. Well, yeah, we do. I know why they do it.
Because they sell
The
it.
unsuspecting customer, exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Somebody walks by and says, "Oh, $2.99 tomato. I'll do that."
It sounds good. I can, but they won't tell you it's not going to set fruit. You're not going to, it's not this time of year.
Exactly. I'm trying to think of what other plants. The one thing I get hung up on is the flowers, though, too. The the annual flowers that you see during this time of year.
Oh, yeah.
And you realize that they're just going to take them home, and then the one day it gets cold, they just wither away and wilt.
Like marigolds.
Yep. Yeah, marigolds and patience.
Right.
You still see those nowadays, and it's just we're days away from them dying, because for an impatient, and an impatient specifically too, the grower that grew this grew them in a hothouse.
Sure,
so,
absolutely.
So it's guaranteed these were not grown outside during this time of year. If somebody is selling an impatient at a garden center, it was grown indoors. Okay, and then you take it outside. And the one night that it just gets a little bit cold,
boom,
it melts. Well, it's the weirdest looking thing because it literally melts. Like
I've seen it. Looks like when you don't give them water.
What happened? Yeah.
When they need water.
Yeah.
They do that. They kind of shrivel up. Absolutely.
And there's no coming back. You can water it all you want. There's no coming back.
Because I'm moving, we're building a house. I've neglected my property. And normally where I would never have a gopher, or if I did, I would catch it right away. I've now got gophers everywhere because I just have
You've just kind of given up on it. Your interest is kind of
I
waned.
haven't been setting the traps, but my wife pointed out to me that I have to do something because they're in the front lawn. I've got these giant.
Well, not only that, but your place has to look good for potential buyers.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, really,
how many traps? How often do you set a trap?
When I'm taking care.
Yeah, when you're taking care of it. Is it like a weekly task? Is it a...
No, I would say that if I'm keeping up with it, I probably catch 3 or 4 gophers a year. And,
oh, okay.
And that's it. I never have a problem.
So once a month if you go out and set traps.
Yeah. But since I haven't done it for well over a year now,
right.
I think the gophers are telling their friends it's okay to come
in.
in.
John's gone.
John's given up his interest in the lawn here.
I'm not saying there's a gopher caravan out there, but there's a lot invading.
That's good. Hey, Rick's got a question on composting and leaves, I believe, on Facebook, guys.
Rick sent me some pictures to my email address.
Thank you, Rick. Rick, we appreciate you, Rick. You're a good listener, a good viewer. You ask a lot of good questions.
But he sent some really good pictures of fall color.
Oh,
all
boy.
the trees.
We talked about
color,
that last
right?
week.
Yeah. But his question is, are the leaves from some trees better to compost with than others? And how would you build a compost pile? Well, I think up in Oregon, any leaves are going to be fine.
Yeah.
Oak leaves usually make an especially good mulch, but all of them will be good.
The one trees that I feel, and it's not that they don't make a good compost, but when you have a majority in the compost, you can change things like pH or oil levels. And pine trees, eucalyptus trees, if you have too much of those items, it's not that they won't be it's not that they won't compost, it's just it wouldn't be a great compost to use. Because then you could ultimately, wherever you put it down, change what's happening in the soil there. So as long as what's the saying? Moderation, best practice. Don't just fill your compost bin of one thing. Would be something I would recommend. But I think that they all compost down.
Well, and also if you just Google how to build a compost pile, it'll tell you what proportions you should put in of green versus brown material.
Really?
Yeah. And just because it's called green and just because it's called brown doesn't mean that things are brown. That's what it is, or things are green. Right. That's what it is. Look at their descriptions, because what you're doing is you're mixing a ratio of what I would more say is more wet and dry material to make, because you could create a really wet compost bin, which creates a soupy, boggy, smelly mess, or you can have a very dry bin, which never begins the compost cycle. And you need that happy medium of a wrung out sponge style moisture
with some of the dryness.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if it's, for instance, those wet leaves, maybe it's rained, stuff like that, and you throw them in your compost bin. Some shredded paper. You get the stuff in the mail. What am I trying to think of it?
The junk mail.
Junk mail. Shredded up junk mail, things like that. you can incorporate that to help wick out some of the moisture and create
Oh, okay.
that
It'll
balance.
suck up the boggy, smelly moisture.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to do that. We all want to suck up boggy
Also, if you go to
moisture.
Facebook, there's a video called How to Build a Compost Pile for Dummies.
Yeah,
And,
perfect.
Well, there you go.
Just a simple way to start a pile.
All right, break time. Again, just like Rick on Facebook Live, he posted his question, got it answered immediately. You can also email John at gardenamerica.com or maybe check in with the telephone at 855-424-9825. On this Saturday, Garden America continues.
Starting a business can be tough, but getting the word out about your business through a great website can be even tougher. That's why you need SpotOnWebsite.com. At SpotOnWebsite.com, you can register your company's domain name and even build your website overnight. It's fast, easy, and most of all, it's sure to fit your budget. SpotOnWebsite.com has a wide range of internet products and solutions to make the most of your website, even on a small business budget. Log on today and see for yourself at SpotOnWebsite.com.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks on Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks on Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks on Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks on Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-557-6095 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-557-6095 for your free author submission kit. Again, call 800-557-6095.
As a small business owner, there's one word that you absolutely dread: payroll. For small businesses, it's a big burden. You may think you're saving time and money doing it yourself. But come on, are you? Timesheets, processing checks, calculating taxes, a total waste of your time. Paychex simplifies payroll processing, saving you time and money. Submit your payroll online, fax it in, or call your dedicated Paychex payroll specialist. And you're done. Learn more at trypaychex.com. Come on, do the math. The IRS dishes out 8 million penalties a year. Make one mistake and you're on the hook. On average, you're losing nearly one business day every month doing payroll. That's time and money you'll never get back, unless you get Paychex. More than 500,000 small businesses already do. Call 877-649-5324. Trade payroll pressure for peace of mind. Call now. 877-649-5324. That's 877-649-5324.
Do you owe $10,000 or more on at least 2 federal student loans? Then you may qualify for new programs offered by the Department of Education. These programs can reduce your interest, lower your payments, and possibly qualify you for loan forgiveness. If you have $10,000 or more and at least 2 federal student loans and currently not in school, you may qualify for one of these programs. Call now to check your eligibility. Student loan advisors are standing by to help you determine if you qualify for these new programs. They can help you reduce your interest, lower your payment, and even forgive a portion of your student loan debt. Take control of your financial future. Make this free 5-minute free call now to Nationwide Student Loans and learn how
1588, 800-439-1588, 800-439-1588.
Time changes everything. For me, becoming a single father of 2 young kids, it changed my ability to use my timeshare. The frustration of not being able to use it was compounded by annual maintenance fees that nearly or get out of my timeshare. It just looked like one scam after another. I needed a real, permanent, and legitimate way to get out of this for good. I'm Brandon Reed, the founder of Timeshare Exit Team. We will get you out of the timeshare you can't use or can't afford anymore. We get people out safely, legally, and permanently. We are more successful because we have more solutions. Schedule a free consultation to review your ownership situation and find the best strategy for you. If we can't get you out, we will give you a full refund. Call Timeshare Exit Team today.
Call 800-929-8112. That's 800-929-8112. That's 800-929-8112.
Call Timeshare Exit Team today.
This is Biz Talk Radio, America's home for business talk. Online at biztalkradio.com.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825.
Continue to roll, no doubt about that. 35 minutes after the hour. Still about a half hour to go. And again, as Tiger mentioned earlier, we're going to be recording that podcast after the show talking about zones. What zone do you live in? What do zones mean? And we'll try to get that uploaded on Monday. Facebook Live questions. And in fact, that's the best way to do it. And Laura's got a compost question for you to answer, Tiger, I believe, or John, either one.
Yeah, and Rick had a little one right before that, too.
Okay.
And he was just asking about, is there any way to kickstart or to get the compost moving quicker? And there is, but an easy way is at a lot of garden centers, you'll go in there and they'll sell a product called Compost Activator, which is a mix of microorganisms and things like that kickstart a compost bin. So
you're adding biology.
You're adding the biology to it to help the process get going. And that's a really quick and easy way to do that. I mean, you can do it yourself because these aren't items that aren't found out elsewhere, but it's just a nice thing that's already packaged.
I think Rick's going to have a lot of success.
The way that compost happens, I've seen T-shirts that said
compost
happens. The way it happens is the microorganisms that Tiger's talking about, they go through and eat the piles of leaves and green material and stuff like that and break it down into what eventually becomes the final product, compost.
Yeah.
Right?
And so then leading into Laura's question, what is the difference between compost and mulch is, well, we would argue that compost is broken down or material that is in the process of being broken down into soil. Mulch could be simply just material that you're using to cover soil or
prevent weeds or
keep in moisture.
Keep in moisture, right.
Yeah. Or add a little bit of nutrient value to the soil because mulch will eventually turn into compost and begin
depending
to
what
break
you use as mulch, because you can use rubber as mulch.
That is true. Yeah, I always tell people, I hate that rubber mulch. I mean, I get it. I get it. It's a good, I see why people use it, and I see value there. But I'm also from the perspective of, you know how many yards that I've pulled out with that lava gravel in? And that's the way I see it.
46?
That's the way I see it. It's like, oh, people put that lava rock all over their yard. Well, now we want to change it. What do I have to do? Pull out all that lava rock. And that's
a lot easier to work with on your hands than lava rock.
But I still see that same thing where if they would have used mulch, shredded red mulch, bark nuggets, whatever, you could have just mixed it in and moved on. You don't have to remove all of that. If you ever want to use that yard again with mulch, that rubber mulch, you have to remove it. You can't just mix it into your soil. That'd be horrible. Down, I guess you're. Laura's question: compost and mulch. Mulch would be more used for, let's say, like a blanket to cover your beds,
right?
And
you can use compost as a mulch.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, but mulch really just the covering as a type of blanket that goes over the soil.
So hope that helps you, Laura. Thank you for the question. Another Facebook viewer. And John, anything on your?
Rick also has another question.
Okay.
He wants to know, when our vegetable gardens are done for the season, what should we do with them now to get them ready for next year? Well, you can do several things. You can take all the debris out of your vegetable garden, rake it up, and put it in your mulch pile,
Mm-hmm.
you
and
go.
use it for the following year. And this is kind of big in parts of Oregon. A lot of people will plant cover crops this time of year, and then when spring comes, they work them into the soil, just rototill them into the soil. And that's something you could do. You don't have to do it, but it's kind of a natural way of adding nitrogen back into the soil, like by putting in some type of legume or something as a cover crop.
And when you say cover crop, bumper crop, same idea, right? Cover crop, bumper crop? Or is bumper crop different?
I thought bumper crop was a soil mix. What are you talking about as bumper crop?
No, that's what I thought they said was a bumper crop would be also the same thing as a cover crop. So adding the legume, what else do they use? Oats or something that helps rejuvenate the soil between plantings of seasons.
Never heard that referred to as a bumper crop, but the soil.
I've always heard that term bumper crop used like when you're really successful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Crop of tomatoes this year or whatever you've planted, meaning a lot of success.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I must have had it wrong.
That's okay. I like to be right. I like to be right once a year.
Well, Kellogg's also had a bag of mulch that they called bumper crop.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably because it was so productive.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, the way that the cover crop works is basically it takes all the nitrogen out of your air and stuff and it puts it back into the soil, which is really good to do. Another good product to use in between plantings is the humic
acid
product. Yeah, adding that because basically what you're doing there is adding all those available mycorrhizae and beneficial microbes back into the soil as well, which was taken out by your pepper or tomato or watermelon or whatever else you grew because they tend to use up so much nutrients. And that's why they tell you don't plant in the same bed year after year, aside from having things like nematodes in those developments, but also because the beds have been so depleted for nutrients.
The nutrients are gone.
But you can replace them.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
To allow you to plant in the same place every year.
Yeah.
Hairy vetch is a good cover crop.
Hairy vetch?
Yeah.
I thought he ran for Congress years ago.
I thought that's a band.
That's a good name for a band.
Hairy vetch.
I don't think I've ever used a cover crop. Portland Nursery probably had 12 different bins of bulk seed that you would just go in and scoop out and weigh whatever it was you were using as a cover crop.
Well, I feel it's good there and not here because in order for us to grow, like for there, you drop seed and it just grows.
Right.
Right. Here, if you were to do that, you would have to take care of it just as much as if you were growing plants, meaning...
Well, unless you did it in the winter, right?
No, because even then, you'd still have to water it. It was 88 yesterday.
I know.
It was 88 yesterday.
Come on.
I felt so hot and dry air yesterday. It was depressing.
What was yesterday, November 2nd?
Yes.
Or the 3rd, yeah.
No, wait a minute. What are we on?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's
2nd.
my wife's birthday.
So people listening to us in other parts of the country
But
are
the
like...
time changes today, and this is the last day of warm weather.
Oh, is it?
It's cold the rest of the...
Until Christmas when it's 88 again.
Yeah, exactly. Christmas Day. New Year's Day, right?
Oh. So
that's why we move here.
But that's and it is. And I don't mind giving up planting cover crop because if you were to grow a cover crop, you have to water it. You got to take care of it just as if you were growing anything else.
We have so much heat and hot weather. We just don't get a lot of rain. If there was more of a balance with the rain, I think we wouldn't complain about the temperature so much. It's just not only do we not have rain, it's hot and it's November. And if you're going to make it dark earlier, let's get into the fall and really do it seriously.
Yeah. I have a new product that we're trying in my yard for a company.
What's that?
It's a I'm not going to say so much about it right now because it's still brand new,
Right.
and we're doing a trial. But it's a company that advertises a drip tube that's always on. So
I think you talked about this.
It's always on.
Is this
And
the one that I gave you the information on?
did you? I don't think so. I think they solicited me.
I remember this conversation.
RDI, I think is what they're called.
I'll talk to you about it after.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, a basic premise of this.
Yeah, is a drip tube that's always on in your beds. So you drop it in your bed about 4 inches below the soil.
You don't see it, right?
And you don't see it.
Okay.
And it just secretes water. Well, what's supposed to happen is it secretes water initially by itself, and it will create this wet area around the root balls of the plants and stuff, and then the plants will begin to know where the water comes from, and the roots will begin to grow towards this tubing.
Yes.
Well, eventually the tubing will get clogged with debris, minerals, dirt. Absorb and latch onto this drip and then begin to suck water out of it as the plant needs it. So it's rather than having an irrigation system that turns on and off,
To be clogged on purpose.
yes.
Oh, well, there you go. We'll give you updates as they develop. One more segment coming up. It is 45 minutes after the hour. Thank you so much for your Facebook questions. We do appreciate it. As you can see, we get to those and answer them as quickly as possible. We're going to take a break. Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco, Bryan Main for your Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, depending upon where you are. We're going to come back after these words.
Want a better looking lawn with less effort? Husqvarna's robotic automower is the effortless way to mow. Husqvarna's intelligent design allows the automower to maneuver around your lawn without supervision, even over tricky terrain and around obstacles. It knows when it needs to be charged and directs itself back to the charging dock. With convenient control options, the Husqvarna allows you to set it and forget it, even from your smartphone. Thanks to Husqvarna, you can have a great looking lawn and more time to enjoy it this season. Visit Mission Hills Nursery at 1525 Fort Stockton Drive in San Diego, or go to missionhillsnursery.com for more info. Having bug problems this season? Need an overall solution? Try Natural Guard Spinosad Soap. This combination of spinosad and fatty acids kills aphids, mealybugs, worms, caterpillars, and other bugs that plague your garden. It's also safe to use around your fruit and veggies to make sure you enjoy your crop and not those pesky critters. Find Natural Guard Spinosad Soap in a ready-to-use bottle or ready to spray for those large garden plots at your favorite independent garden center. Go to fertilome.com for more information.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home? And you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-670-2142. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect and may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-670-2142. 800-670-2142. That's 800-670-2142.
Have you written a book and want to get it published? Then call Page Publishing at 800-557-6095 immediately. That's 800-557-6095. Page Publishing is looking for authors of all types of books. And unlike most publishers, Page Publishing will take the time to review each and every book submitted to them and give you their feedback. If they like what they read, they'll get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, the Apple iTunes Store, Barnes & Noble, and other outlets. They handle everything: editing, cover design, copyright protection, printing, publicity, and distribution. So if you've written a novel, children's book, cookbook, inspirational work, poetry, or a biography and want to get it published, then you need to call Page Publishing and do it immediately. Call 800-557-6095 now for your free author submission kit. Again, for your free author submission kit, call 800-557-6095. That's 800-557-6095. Your road to fame and fortune could very well start with this simple phone call. Call Page Publishing at 800-557-6095 for your free author submission kit.
Attention
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-285-4765 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-285-4765. Again, 800-285-4765.
Are you ready to leave your corporate job behind and be your own boss? Have you ever dreamed of owning a business? Do you have $50,000 or more sitting around in a 401k? If you answered yes, it's time to invest in yourself by buying or starting a business or franchise. IRS code allows you to use money in a 401k to invest in a business with absolutely no penalties or taxes. At Guidant Financial, we've helped more than 11,000 entrepreneurs invest $3 billion in retirement assets into the small businesses and franchises of their dreams. So if you've got $50,000 or more in a 401k and you're looking for a way to start a business, call Guidant Financial now for free information and to learn more. Operators are standing by for your call. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630.
This is Biz Talk Radio, America's home for business talk. Online at biztalkradio.com.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
Okay, our final segment, just like that, 51 minutes after the hour. What's on your mind? Facebook Live. You can also call us at 855-424-9825. John at gardenamerica.com. Any emails, John, up to this point that you can share with us?
Nope.
You think might be entertaining?
Nope.
Not a one?
Not a single one.
Wow.
But we do have Facebook comments.
Well, if we have some new ones.
We do.
Okay.
Here, since we've been talking about harvest a lot during the show, he said his was a big Zac, grafted big Zac, and he sent us pictures during the year too about how many tomatoes he was getting, and it was amazing. And
that's a bumper crop now, Rick. Congratulations.
There you go. But also, what I thought was amazing was in my yard I have a big Zac tomato that probably right now is say 6 foot tall by 6 to 8 foot wide, hundreds and hundreds of flowers on it throughout the year, and never one tomato. I don't know what I did wrong.
The worst.
So the plant spent all its time on the leaves, right? Is that it's just being a rebel.
It's just big Zac. I don't know what the problem was.
I'm just not going to give you tomatoes.
I mean, they're all planted in that 6-inch wide bed. So
yeah, come on now. Plenty of room.
Yeah,
you should all be doing well.
Your huge bed that you made room for. Yeah. It is pretty funny. Anyway, get back to work on your lawn. Get the gophers out of there and keep up on it.
Laura says that her one and only tomato was an Iditarod Red. She said it was delicious.
Mine was that volunteer. I can't even name it.
You said it was so good.
My brother Dave, who is not a gardener.
Yeah, how was that progressing?
Who won the competition?
You know, no one's said anything yet to make it official, but I think that my sister and my niece did not do as well as my brother Dave. He got lots and lots of tomatoes. So I think he's probably the winner by far.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Dave. Well done.
I know we're going to be transitioning the veggie pod. Are you done with it?
Back. I've just let everything grow.
Yeah.
And it's not good. So I got to cut everything back. You can take it to the
No,
store?
I'm going to take it to my house.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to do
You can do all right.
leafy greens in it.
Okay.
When I get it.
And I'll get all the dirt out of there and stuff, and we'll. Or do you care? The dirt's probably still good.
Yeah, the dirt's fine.
The dirt, it just
might just be easier to carry out, I guess. I don't know.
I guess maybe. So I'll make room. You let me know when you want to come by. Bring your Toyota.
Yep.
And we'll put it in the back.
Perfect.
Then I can get more room, and then I can start cutting everything back because everything's out of control. I mean, like I feel like Steve in Simi Valley. I just, for some reason, growth is good.
Did I say tomatoes?
You said tomato, yeah. Roses.
There were some roses in the silent auction that out of the can were like 4 or 5 feet. Like you walked into the room and you saw this spindly rose just almost touching the ceiling. It was so funny. I'm like, oh, somebody doesn't like to cut back.
Yeah.
It's a flower, and I wanted people to see it. But also, those that were very tall that you noticed were on Fortuniana rootstock. And Fortuniana rootstock is so vigorous that it'll grow twice as fast as anything else. So that was part of it.
There's your answer.
It wasn't from your Dr. Rodin technique of you left it for the birds?
No.
Is that your excuse?
No. Hey, Michael says that on Facebook that his zucchini wither at the end of the fruit, and he wants to know if it's too much water or too little. And I don't think it's either one. I think it depends on, we'd have to see the fruit. It sounds like blossom end rot to me. And they will get the same thing that tomatoes get, where the end of the fruit discolors. And it's because of a lack of calcium.
Yep.
So if you increase the amount of calcium, you should take care of that problem.
Calcification.
And
it's also getting pretty cold now, so it's a little too late to do anything.
Yeah, it's probably done is done. But and it's a good note to mention that because, I mean, you can have a lot of variety. It happens. When people think of blossom end rot just with that could happen with a squash. I don't know if peppers.
Yeah, you can get it on peppers.
Peppers can get it. So it's some people see that and they think it's a watering issue or some kind of. I mean, it is to some ability disease, but not from the sense of like a fungicide use or anything like that.
A physiological reaction to the environment.
Yeah. So calcium is very important with those.
It's like when you're tired, you get an iron. If you have an iron deficiency, you're tired. You don't feel like you have as much energy.
Is that why I'm so tired?
Iron deficiency.
It's like a calcium deficiency.
If I was a doctor, had a good sense of humor, I would be going over somebody's physical results. I'd say, oh, and by the way, you have blossom end rot. Can you imagine the look on their face? I have what? Yeah, blossom end rot.
Sorry.
You're rotting from the inside out.
Take these calcium pills.
There you go. What you got, John? You got a little smile on your face there.
No, my mind's going in all kinds of places.
Of course it is.
Can't be repeated on the air. Kathy mentioned that
her super anything but.
Anything but, yeah.
Yes, I'm not sure what she meant by that.
I feel that
it didn't do well?
No, I feel that they grew bigger than what she expected, like my Bush 506, which is 6 feet tall. Bush 506 should have been a squatty 3 foot tall plant.
You know what? I think there was an error in some of the super dwarfs.
Really?
One of the super dwarfs this year. And it was, which one was it? It was Rosella Purple, which is a super dwarf tomato and really good flavor. It does get a little bit bigger than the regular super dwarfs, but I think that by mistake, whoever sent the seed sent Rosella, which is a cherry tomato that grows like 8 to 10 feet tall and is not a super dwarf. I think some of those might have gotten mixed up on that particular variety.
We're done. How about that? Quick, huh?
Whoa.
Wow. There you go.
All right.
Time warp. Hey, thank you so much.
More.
I want to thank Jeremiah keeping us on the air, our director and studio coordinator. And, of course, the entire crew. Excuse me, Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco. My voice has to last because we've got a podcast to do in a few minutes here. We're going to be doing Zones, and that'll be uploaded on Monday. Until then, have a great week. Get growing America. Take care and be safe. Bye-bye.
Listen on the go. Download the Biz Talk Radio app.